Well, it has been a moment since I've been on this platform. And to all the people that look out, that listen, even to the people that messaged and that called and asked what's really going on, please forgive me for my lack of consistency. I promise you, I'll do better. So, this is the last episode in the series that I've titled Learning Through the Issues. This episode is called Pressed for Purpose. And I have to be very honest with you all. I actually prepared this episode a really long time ago. I think it's about soon after I did the last video I had prepared for this episode. And it's actually very sad that I am only now doing it. Anyway, let's not waste any time. Let's dive right in. There was a day I went by a friend and she was having some issues in her household, so she was a little troubled and started to speak to me. While she was talking to me and telling me everything about what was going on in the house and how she was feeling and how the family was feeling, I was like, wait a minute. Everything that this woman is saying to me is quite similar to what it is that I was dealing with, as well as my house, my family. And so in the midst of the conversation, I was able to speak to her from the perspective of a child as well as a sibling. I was also able to tell her something my mom said that the Lord told her to do in the heat of the situation, which was to trust her husband. Anyway, some weeks later, when we met up again and we spoke, she said she actually considered some of the things that I had said to her, and she started to see some change within her own household when she started putting the words that I said into action. So I'm in my car and I'm praying and thanking the Lord that there is some change happening within the household, within her household. And while I'm worshiping and driving, the words call to reconciliation came to mind. Familial reconciliation is a word that my parents got a lot of years ago. I think we were still teens when they got that word. And I was like, dang, how are you gonna have a ministry like that and not expect some kind of crap to go down? Oh, we thought that we were called to it because we were a nice Christian family, close-knit, we do work in the church and we like each other maybe 5 out of the 7 days of the week. Ooh, we lie to ourselves, because this situation definitely is the thing that trained us for the ministry that my parents are called to. Hearing that word reconciliation, it stayed in my head. And I knew in that moment, unflinchingly, that the wedding was going to happen. Why? Because this relationship, or rather the pursuit of it, shall I say, it caused a lot of division. It separated family members, church members, it divided friendships, and it caused a lot of damage. But the drama, it caused every single part of reconciliation to be touched. Mothers to sons, fathers to daughters, sibling to sibling, in-law to in-law, etc., etc. Every part of reconciliation would be addressed because of the situation. So why did I give this story? Simple. Because the enemy sought to use the relationship to drop a bomb in our household and cause a very close-knit family to scatter. And it almost did. However, instead of scattering, what this thing did was facilitate our ministry. It trained us for a purpose. Now, we are not 100 yet. We are still working through the issues and still have to deal with and sort out a lot of things. However, I did see God take a very troublesome situation and make it purposeful. And truth be told, finding purpose within a crazy circumstance gave me hope. And honestly, it made me behave a lot better. We go through so many things in our lives on a daily basis. And there is so much childhood trauma and even adult issues that we have to deal with and heal from, because it affects our present lives, our relationships, our prayer lives, our work lives, our family lives. It affects every single thing. And we continuously complain about this instead of asking the question, what can I do with my trauma? Who can I help because I went through this difficult thing? And I'm just throwing this out there, but how can I make money off of my pain? It is my firm belief that your purpose is hidden in the midst of your pain. It's in those moments that you see what you're made of. There's so much giftings and ideas and talents that come out of the struggle. Testimonies are built on those trials. How can you have a testimony if you don't go through something? And here's the thing, you can actually learn and grow through everything that you're dealing with if you allow it and if you allow God to use it. Here's the next thing. Everything that you've been through is not for you alone, but it's to help someone else. For your purpose, you're going to be tried, tested, hurt. You're going to want to cry or scream, but it won't overcome you if you allow God to help you through it. And trust me when I say this, but you feel a lot better when you understand that there is purpose in every single thing that you face. That's why I like Joseph's story. Honestly, Joseph's story keeps me so optimistic and hopeful because Joseph went through a lot of things. His brothers hated him. He was thrown in a pit. He was sold into slavery. He was lied on, thrown into prison. And with everything that he had been going through, he kept basically saying, you know what? God's plan. And he was right, because he had to go through all of those things so he can end up in the palace and save nations. What you are going through today is trying to build something in you. It's trying to take you to a place where you can help and save many people. This situation, it broke my family. It broke our hearts. And there was a lot of disappointment. And there was a lot of disappointment because there was so much lies and deceit and emotional manipulation. And the disrespect was actually quite high. There was so much that we dealt with as individuals and as a family that people don't know about. And for every single lie that was told, and for every rumor that was heard, and for every amount of disappointment that I felt, I'm grateful to God for all of it. I am not the same person that I was before the situation, and that's a good thing. My perspective has changed. The way I move, the way I speak is a lot different than before. I'm way more assertive now. Still a little slow, but way more assertive. And all of this is because I made a decision that I'm not going to allow the situation to make me bitter. I'm actually going to use this situation and become a better person. I decided to make my pain count. Make this pain work for me. There is purpose in this pain. There is purpose in this pain. There is purpose in this pain. That was my mantra. And I have to say that it worked because, it's weird to say, but in the midst of people saying things about us, I learned to trust myself and how I feel. I found my voice in the midst of all of this. There is ideas. There is a gifting that was birthed in me that I didn't realize was there, or I knew was there and didn't really care for it. And my belief system has been solidified because of this situation. Though it was a hard thing to face for us to go through, it was a hard thing to feel, our pain was purposeful. Your pain is purposeful. Don't let all that drama go to waste. No. Use the pain as a tool. Use it to help develop you, grow you. Use it to learn. Build a character within you that's amazing. There are so many books and movies and businesses and NGOs and plays that come out of people and their pain. There are speakers who travel the world making millions because why? They went through the pain, they dealt with it, they learned from it, and now they're teaching people on how to overcome. So don't let the pain just be painful. Let it be training. And remember, guys, you are pressed because there is purpose within you.
In the crushing, in the pressing.